Viruses are different. You get where I'm coming from? Now, that's the prime time for bacteria and even viruses to proliferate. Viruses are a little different, though. Keep it real. Now, we're thinking of a refrigerator. We want to preserve. We want to slow down the growth of things that are harmful to us and things that will destroy our food. What has been happening in our environment lately? Has anybody noticed it? I woke up yesterday, got up to 61 degrees. It was 61 degrees yesterday in January. What do you think is going to happen to the bacteria and the viruses that's all floating around us? They are proliferating. They are thriving. Usually, most people get sick in 2 seasons. Most people get sick in the fall and possibly in the spring. The fall and possibly the spring. And why is that? But most people get sick in the fall. You're indoors in the fall. It's still warm enough that the viruses and bacteria can proliferate during those times. And we're getting closer and closer to people because we're indoors because it's a little too cold to be really being outside. We're not going to hang outside as much because it's getting colder. You're back at work. You're not outside. The sun is not shining. Our vitamin D levels is going down. Our access to vitamin C rich foods are going down because of the simple fact those vitamin C rich foods are summertime foods. Now, you still may get some tubers and potatoes and all those things that's rich in vitamin C, but the fruits that's usually available for vitamin C are going out of season. So you are more susceptible to having a lack of vitamin C, and now you're indoors, you're making less vitamin D, so your immune system is directly affected by that. And now you're indoors with more people, and you have access to more viruses and bacteria because you're around other people who are getting sick. So, what has happened of lately? It's warm outside. It's not cold enough to slow down the growth of bacteria and viruses. We may hate the winter weather. But most people don't get sick as much when it's really cold outside. Most people do not have the respiratory viruses or respiratory issues when it's really cold outside. Most of that is a fall problem. It's usually not a winter problem. Pay attention to when most people get sick. Pay attention to when your kids get sick. Pay attention when your grandkids get sick. Most people get sick between the months of September and December. And it slows down from January to March because the cold air reduces the amount of viruses and bacteria in the environment. And the snow pulls them out the air and pulls them into the sewers. Pay attention, people. Listen, I'm going through this. Let's do this together. Most people get sick between the months of September and December. That's why you see all the cold and flu commercials happen in those months. Between September and December. And this happens because you have interactions more with people indoor. You have interactions more with people indoor. You have an environment where you're having less vitamin C rich foods in your diet. You have a vitamin D deficiency starting to occur because you are indoors and the sun is not up as much. And the environment's still ripe enough that it allows bacteria and virus to proliferate. And you may say, oh, Abdul, why don't I get sick during the summertime? It's hot outside. It's hot outside. Shouldn't bacteria and viruses proliferate when it's hot outside? Well, you would think so. But let me show you how God got away for us. Check this out. Check this out. When you go to get surgery in a hospital, one of the things that the doctors do, and one of the things that the medical staff does, for any equipment is being used, what do they store that equipment in? Not only in sealed plastic, what is one of the things that they store the equipment in? They store the equipment in areas that emit UV light. UV light. That, if you want to disinfect and some equipment, one of the things you can do is not only heat, it's not only chemicals and alcohol that can kill them, you can use UV light. I'm teaching you how we don't get sick during environment certain times of the year, and it's a reason why. They put this stuff in UV light. Well, what do you think you have the most UV light going on in your environment? Come on, people. Let's talk about it. When is the highest amount of UV light in the environment? In the summertime. In the summertime. Think about it. It's so much UV light when you go on the beach, you got to put on sunscreen. It's so much UV light when you got to go on the beach, you have to put sunscreen on because the UV light may burn you. Well, UV light denatures and kills bacteria and viruses too. So that's why you get majority of the people who are sick involved between September and December. Because not only are we indoors, we have a lack of vitamin C, we're starting to reduce vitamin D, we have a lack of vitamin C because now those fruits and vegetables that most people were enjoying during the summertime is now going out of season. So now our diets are reduced in the amount of vitamin C. People don't even realize how much vitamin C you're eating during the summertime because you're just enjoying the fruits. Oh, you don't realize you just had a half a bag of cherries. Well, you may have consumed in that one serving almost 200, 300 milligrams of vitamin C. But you don't even recognize that. You're just eating the watermelon. You're eating cantaloupes. You don't recognize you're consuming large amounts of vitamin C. You're not recognizing you're getting all this vitamin D just by going outside and chilling, hanging out with your friends, walking in the park, going to the beach, walking in your neighborhood, getting just sunbathing. You're not even recognizing it. It's just natural. But these are the benefits that we get from this time of year. But during between September and December, that all dissipates. By the time November come around, most people already been in touch with the flu already. You've already made the cell phone call to the influenza virus. So all these things are happening, and that's why we are still getting sick today with respiratory viruses in January. There's an uptick because it's too warm in an environment that's supposed to be cold to reduce the amount of bacteria and viruses in the air. It's too warm. That's why this has not subsided. That's why people still getting RSV. That's why pneumonia is on the uptick. That's why the influenza virus hasn't slowed down. That's why COVID is still going on so much. It's not that people are not going to get sick. It's that it starts to reduce around this time. because it's so cold that the virus and bacteria slow down the growth. If you're dealing with 21-degree weather, bacteria slows down moving. Viruses slow down. It's too cold. And then not only that, when it snows, it pulls those bacteria and viruses out of the environment and put them into the sewer system, cleaning the air. That's the benefit of one of the benefits of snow.